Hmm. Welcome to the Men of Culture podcast, everyone. We are pleased to announce that you are here with us.
What is that voice? What the fuck is that voice?
We are men of culture. Men of culture. We must be fancy.
I know fancy people. They don't talk like that. They're
Indubitably.
more exaggerated.
Hmm. All right, I can't hold it
Yeah,
anymore.
yes.
All right. What's
Yeah, I'm about to
going?
say.
What's going on, everyone? So,
He's coming in with a Kermit voice. Wonderful stuff. First episode.
yeah. Today we're going to talk about the franchise that we honestly did not expect would make it this far. The franchise that honestly had a very, 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 very quadrillion times more varies bad start, but ironically enough has
Don't
become
remind me. Do not remind me of that horror that was the original design.
yeah.
Oh.
So we're talking about the Sonic franchise, how it surprised all of us. Let's be honest, because if you were to tell me this franchise would be as big as it is today, I would laugh in your face and call you a liar.
To say not only will Sonic have 3 live action movies, but
Knuckles will have a
fucking
TV show.
Knuckles will have more screen time. That TV show has put him over the line of everybody with screen time. Like, holy shit. To say that, if you told Kid B that, I would have been like, nah, you're lying to me. And yet here we are. One of the most goated franchises at this point.
The literally best live action anime we've gotten so far.
Wait, would we count it as anime? I mean, I know it had cartoons, but would we say like live action anime?
I mean, we literally got a Super Saiyan showdown in the last movie.
Oh yeah, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough.
Actually, it's the best live action video game movie while also being the best live action anime.
Yes, he's Ravik, I'm Prometheus, and welcome to us nerding the fuck out over how a blue hedgehog somehow knocks Disney off its throne.
All
Well,
right,
correction, a blue and a black hedgehog.
that's racist.
It's descriptive! Shadow's black! He has black fur!
I didn't hear him say the N word in that movie.
He had more
So
than enough aura.
yeah, he definitely did. So we should probably start out with Sonic One. We saw the design. It was garbage. It was atrocious. The creator himself even said, "What is this thing?" So they changed it. So we're not even gonna talk about that design. We're already talked about it enough.
Oh, I need to say something about it.
Say it.
Do you think the Tails end credit scene was planned? Like, do you think they had a like ugly Tails model? Because God, that shit would be terrifying to look at if that's what they
I
did to Sonic.
I think now one thing to keep in mind is whenever it comes to movies like these, you don't really know if you're gonna get. Well, to be fair, they probably wanted to do a sequel, but the thing is though, I could easily be wrong here. I could easily be wrong. But I won't be surprised if for most movies, the post credits is usually the last thing they animate. So, and obviously trailers show up way before, like, they're actually technically finished with a movie. So, I think they might have been in the process of working on it. And then they basically was like, okay, no, we got to change the design. Okay, well, yeah, we'll stop real quick. So, is there an Ugly Tales model
Still
out
get a
there?
reaction.
Probably concept art, if I'm being honest. But I don't think there's an actual model that was made.
And I pray if there ever was, it never sees the light of day.
Yeah. So, first
That
movie.
shit.
Because you recently rewatched all of them in preparation of Sonic 3.
Yes, because I was supposed to go see it in theaters, and then the day after I finish university, I get fucking sick. Like, bedridden sick for an entire week. I miss work. I don't get money. I can't go see the movie. I have to wait for it to be on streaming because I missed my chance to see it in theaters.
And you took forever to watch it on streaming.
And Actually, no. It literally. I didn't take forever to watch it on streaming. I watched it like the day after it came out on streaming.
It didn't because it's Sunday right now and it came out on Tuesday.
Oh shit! Yeah, no. I'm thinking the what's it called?
You're
There
talking
was
about
a
Knuckles.
thing that they kept saying. Well, on the Xbox store, it said like, "Oh, hey, 3-pack coming soon, pre-order the entire
Ah,
week." So that's why I kept thinking like, "Oh, it's releasing later."
yeah. So first movie, what
But
do you guys say about it? I'll say this right now.
oh, fuck.
I don't really care about young
Yeah, go ahead.
Sonic. He looks. I don't really care about little kid Sonic.
How dare you? He looks adorable.
He does, but at the same time, it's like
Oh,
I'm looking. I'm
precious
like,
little
if I had to choose
child.
little Sonic versus, I don't think a Sonic's supposed to be adult, like teenager, I guess, or something. Still kid. I don't know. I don't know how old Sonic's supposed to be. But anyway, if I had to choose him versus Future Sonic, I'm choosing Future Sonic a bajillion% of the time. I will say though, I did have this
I mean,
theory.
he's very sassy.
I did have this theory
Yep.
actually, and I was actually right. So when Longclaw gets attacked by the dudes, like the masked like tribe people, when I watched the movie, because fun fact, I didn't watch the movie when it came out in theaters. I watched it literally the day before Sonic 2 came out. Um, I actually was when I saw them, I was like, hold up, is that could those be Knuckles' people? Are those echidnas? To which I was right.
One.
I was right. Nah, bro, those were all echidnas because they all had the freaking knuckles on them.
I noticed it because they had all like the red like dreadlocks, and I was like, "Oh, that's Knuckles' tribe." Hell yeah!
The thing is, though, is that there's, I mean,
How they tied it into the second movie.
oh yeah, absolutely. I love how one thing I will say real quick is to point things out. The only reason why it took me to see the Knuckles to implement these are, the echidnas, is because when you look at the Sonic franchise, there's actually a lot of characters who have those dreadlocks.
You know what? Actually, you're spitting.
Like obviously it wouldn't be him, but like a good example is like Silver has like very similar dreads to the Knuckles.
God, I actually forgot Silver existed. Oh, you think we're ever going to get Silver in live action?
I feel like we will. I don't know. I think what they now the thing is, I don't know if they'll split the movies. Now, if this makes sense, because we already know what Shadow's origin, they going into space and everything. Well, they're not going into space, but
Yeah.
space is a thing. So I don't know if because I'll be real, with you, I don't really know too much about Silver, mainly because I don't like Silver that much. I mean, Metal Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, Tails, Amy. Which fun fact, I did not know Amy. I did not know Amy's last name actually for the longest. Because okay,
The
so
last name? I just assumed it was the Hedgehog.
no, it's Amy Rose.
Oh, right, it is Rose.
Now to clarify
I
my
forget
reason,
that.
on why I actually like don't really remember stuff like that is solely because I grew up watching Sonic X, my guys. So when it comes down to it, like you say Shadow and everything, I'm over here being like, okay, I'm thinking Shadow from Sonic X. Which speaking of Shadow, we should probably save him for last. Actually, now I'm thinking about it.
Oh, yeah, no. We will save the Aura Farmer for last.
We should probably start out with Sonic himself, though. So Sonic, first design terrible, second design amazing.
Not to mention the personality nailed perfectly.
One thing that's actually surprising is, again, I watched Sonic X, so ironically enough, Sonic actually doesn't act like that in the show. Because he's more, if this makes sense, he's more laid back and sleeping all the time. Like, there's actually a joke that, in the Gotta Go Fast theme song, when it says no time for relaxation, there's a little comment saying no time for relaxation, though half this time in this series he's asleep, just leaning back. But they kind of made
Just
Sonic more.
hilarious.
They kind of made Sonic kind of like a mixture between Spider-Man, Deadpool, and obviously OG Sonic. But that's kind of why I noticed what they did when it comes to his personality. Like it's still great, and obviously the voice matches it perfectly. But I mean, it's still there. And it's kind of amazing that they were able to make Sonic, still grow as a character in these movies. Like, even though he's in his third movie right now, it's like, well, what else is he going to learn? Well, he's going to learn, the fear of losing another person, the fact that he has to, he can't let anger consume stuff. Stuff that, he hasn't experienced in the other movies, which, is good. That's pretty much all I got for Sonic, if I'm being honest with you.
So I'll be honest. Like the movie itself, it plays it very safe with like Sonic's side of the story. But
Mm-hmm.
whenever Jim Carrey is on scene with Egg as Robotnik / Eggman, whatever the hell you want to call him by, bro, he hard carries. Like he
Bro, Jim
steals the
Carrey's, bro.
spotlight all the time.
Bro, Jim Carrey's, bro. It's in his name.
Oh my god, it actually is in his name. I just,
Yes. I will say this
but yeah,
now.
no, like I'm just thinking of his dance scene from like the first movie.
Oh, I thought you were
That's
going to
why
say
I'm
the
laughing so much.
second.
Like, you just reminded me of. No, the second one too, but every movie, every dance scene he has is like top tier.
Now, I got some fun facts for you. A, Jim Carrey was not going to return for the second movie because he was going to retire. But it was when they were giving him the script, and he's like, "Oh wait, I can actually evolve the character, rather than just be a same character, same movie." It's like, "Oh, this character can actually evolve throughout the movies," which is pretty impressive, if I'm being honest with you. Because I don't know if you noticed, but Jim Carrey rarely does
Yeah,
like a sequel.
actually, I've not noticed that.
Yeah,
Is
that's the
this the
reason.
first time he's ever done like a sequel?
It might be the. I'll Google it real quick. I don't think it's the first time. It might be. It definitely is. I don't know. Hold up. How many times has Jim well, Carrey in a sequel? I could be wrong though. I do know that Jim Carrey has like stated that he barely beats anything. Yeah, he's only been in a very very few amount of sequels.
It just shows how much he loved the character of Eggman.
It's not even that.
That
It's
he
the
like
he
was like,
redefined
you know what?
Eggman
I'm doing it.
because so in preparation for Sonic 3, I obviously rewatched the episodes of Sonic X that was relevant to Shadow's introduction and everything. I won't deny to you, and I won't lie, I look-y forgot how Eggman sounded and how he act. I remember being like, wait, why am I not hearing Jim Carrey's voice? Wait, is Jim Carrey that good that I forgot Eggman sounded like this?
I mean, I'm the same way with like having watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged and especially Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. I have completely forgotten what like the original Alucard voice actor sounded like, even though that was the second anime I ever watched.
Oh wow, interesting.
I'm
That
just
is
so used to Taka.
something that actually is also interesting to point out when it comes to Jim Carrey as that role is now I don't think you notice, but Eggman always has the goggles on. He never has them just hanging over his forehead.
Oh, I've noticed, yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind then. But I will say this though, if you would have told me that Eggman would, that's the thing too. So when it comes down to it, when you first see Jim Carrey, he's being Jim Carrey, and he's really great, obviously because it's Jim Carrey. When you see him at the end of the first movie, okay, he's all right. He's all right as Eggman. It's kind of like if this would make sense. I feel like it would have been. It kind of felt like almost if they were going to take a Bayverse route. Was like, yeah, these are the characters, but they are the characters mainly in just name only.
Yeah,
Like
it did kind of feel like that because you look at how Jim Carrey looks as Robotnik in movie one,
in the
and
first
then
movie,
compare him to movie three.
it's a
Like
drastic change.
it's so huge, like the change that they made, but it's so good because he looks like his classic self now.
Yeah, and you're
Aside from being like cartoonishly fat, but that's not going to translate well to live action.
or did it?
I mean, it did translate kind of well, but not. He's not as exaggerated. He doesn't look like a fucking ball on legs.
To be fair though, I feel like that would have been asking a little too much. Not to mention, you also have to remember, Eggman always has like, well, for most incarnation of Eggman, he always has like really skinny arms and legs compared to his physique. So if
True.
anything, it fits out perfectly. Actually, I'm pretty sure besides the OG Sonic like TV show and the OG games, I'm pretty sure Eggman always like has kept the fat, tall, fat but like slanky like limb design. Because I'm
God
looking,
knows it's one of the more consistent designs, and it looks so good.
yeah. Now when we get to the second movie, dude gets the mustache. He also is loving the mustache. Jim Carrey even states that, if he would get a bigger mustache, but it wasn't possible, which is amazing. Honestly, that literally just tells you he's just loving it. And I will say this: one of the things that makes Jim Carrey so great, that is definitely an original Jim Carrey thing, because again, it's Jim Carrey. It's his playlist, bro. It's his playlist. Like,
And what was it? Tunes of Anarchy, World Domination Playlist. Did he have one in the third movie?
I don't. Did he? I don't think he did. He did have that scene where he's
Oh,
dancing with Jiro, but I don't think that. I think that doesn't have a name.
it's not. Was
Well,
it
to
on the
me,
playlist, or was it just like he picked a song at random?
I think he picked a playlist in each of the movies, but I think for this one, because he's not really a villain as much right now, he doesn't really have it, which is fine. It's totally fine if you ask me. Like,
Yeah.
I'll never forget watching the second movie for the no yeah watching the second movie, and I just hear world domination playlist. I'm like, of course he has a world domination. Of course he has a world domination playlist. Why wouldn't he?
As soon as he said that, I was like, "Yep, yep, makes sense. He'd have that. Makes sense."
You got the third. Then I'll never forget this because ironically enough, I predicted the sequels like pretty good in terms of like how certain characters are, like how certain characters will turn out. So Jim Carrey said that he wanted to be a fat Eggman in the third movie, which is great. It's amazing. Now I will never forget this. I had this theory that because he lost the ultimate power when he Luke had the opportunity to kill him at any moment, he basically just he just gave up and like just like depression eating like crazy until something causes him to come back in the third movie. And I was right. I was right,
That's
dude. I got money
that's
from
exactly what happened.
I actually got money from that.
Wait, you got money from that?
Yes, because I made a bet with one of my coworkers on how that's how he's gonna be coming back. I was like if we're getting a fat Eggman, I'm calling it. He's gonna be depressed and be depression eating and that's how he's gonna get fat. They're like, oh, it's because he's not active, and it's like, no, it's because he's been depressed and just lost all motivation to do anything.
The fact specifically that he had a what you call it? He had a bot specifically to be a microwave, and it just would toss the thing aside. It's like, okay, yeah, he's really depressed.
Yeah, and I just looked. I'll never forget when the trailer came out, and I saw it. I was like, bro, am I right? Holy crap, I'm right. All right. And his sacrifice at the end was really good, and not to mention, we have to give homage to the Jaro Robotnik and freaking the Robotniks fighting each other. The freaking the freaking arachnid nerd thing with the little knee they're doing with the freaking like claws and pincers, and
Okay, so
the dance scene also.
yes, but the thing that got me the most was what's it called when Jero created the giant fist. And I was like, oh, a giant fist. I haven't seen that since I hate watched Green Lantern back in 2011. I was like, Haste! Haste! He hates it as well! He at least he at least knows what
Another thing to point out. Now I do want to say this because this is actually interesting. So you know whose idea it was for that dance scene for the Robotniks? It was Jim
I'm
Carrey.
guessing it was Jim
It was
Carrey.
Jim Carrey. So fun. Another thing too to point
Yes.
out. Another thing too to point out is that Jim Carrey actually, because he's playing well, not two actors, two characters. He actually was involved in a lot of stuff when it came to that. So things like editing, dialogue, dialogue, um, how certain characters would act on a scene, and just the overall like fight choreography and everything like that. Because again, he's playing both characters, so like it makes it easier for him. Even though he's technically doing more work, it's making it easier for him because he knows what he's doing. He's not being told what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. All right, I
Yeah.
think we glazed Jim Carrey enough. I mean, we could spend hours glazing him, but
You can never glaze Jim Carrey enough.
all right, we should move on now. All right, next we got
We should.
we're just gonna go to Tails now. What do you guys say about Tails?
Tails was done pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah,
I do like what they did with him.
yeah, same voice actress.
Hey, she carried it.
Damn right,
She's the OG for a reason.
exactly. I will say that
And
I do
what you
love.
call it?
Good.
Okay.
No, say your thing.
Like it really like it actually felt like he was a young kid like meeting his hero. And Sonic like I do love that Sonic didn't try to act like all like,
Stoic,
oh yeah, I'm the big hot shot. Like he actually was not really I don't want to say humble is the word, but he
honored,
had enough of a sense. Wait,
honored,
what?
honored.
Well, no, it's more like he had enough of a sense to be like, I need to take this shit seriously, but
Grateful.
at the same time, he still had that slight bit of ego to him.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, there's nothing that says ego more than step one, light taunting. Step two, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, Tails' gadgets being like done that in live action actually worked out pretty well.
oh yeah. I love
The one thing.
good.
Oh, good.
No, say your thing.
I was gonna say the one thing that just bugs me is like we finally get the biplane. The biplane is immediately destroyed.
To be fair,
Like
you
you
could have
couldn't
another
let him
one.
have it for another movie.
To be fair, you
Fair
could,
enough.
because if you really think about it, where else is he gonna have it in like the third movie?
True.
So we got that, and I'll be real, you. I don't have too much to say about Tails other than he's done really well. It's really because the other candidates are just better, if I'm being honest. I mean, Tails is
All right,
adorable.
let's get to the next one.
All right, we got
Okay.
Knuckles. Knuckles. I will. I'm gonna say this real quick. When it comes to trailer introductions, I say Knuckles beats Shadow.
Oh yeah, no. Like the thing is, Shadow already had aura from his like post-credit scene, so they didn't have to aura farm as much.
Mm-hmm.
They had to aura farm for what you call it?
Knuckles.
They had to aura farm for Knuckles.
Just the fact that he's able to just stop freaking Sonic, spinning his ball and saying, "Do I look? I need your power." Now, I love that scene so much.
He goes so hard there. It is just a reminder of, hey, you were hot shit in the previous movie, but you're in a new fight now. You are boom.
And to be fair, Knuckles is technically stronger than Sonic, mainly because Sonic, yeah, he can run fast, but the way I always see it is that Sonic is faster than Knuckles, obviously, but Knuckles has more power, which obviously that's the point. But I do love the fact that
Yeah.
Knuckles, he'll destroy Sonic like if he hits him. I also do love the Sonic X reference they had when Knuckles can't hit Sonic, because I don't know if you ever how the introduction for not introduction but the doing for Sonic X has that shot of Knuckles like flailing his arms like in rapid fist and set like rapid fist motion. That's literally supposed to be that. That's literally a direct reference to that.
Well done.
Yeah. Also, Knuckles wears Tim's, by the way, and no one talks about it.
Wait,
Which,
he wears Tim's?
yes, did you not notice he wears Tim's?
I'm not staring at his feet all the time, so no.
Yeah, bro, Knuckles wears Tim's.
Oh my god, no wonder he was aura farming so hard in that second movie.
Knuckles always wears Tim's. But
I genuinely did not realize that.
that is actually kind of funny. It's also funny too because when you think about it, that's actually one of the reasons. I mean, obviously he still is taller, but like he's actually not that much taller than Sonic. It's the Tims that are giving that extra
Also,
boost in height. Good.
can we talk about the voice actor for him? Idris Elba. Oh, he does so well.
Honestly, might be one of my favorite roles with him.
He he's so damn good as what you call it. He's so damn good as Knuckles.
Like if we're talking like okay, like if we're talking live action, I'm sorry, Pacific Rim is my favorite role with him. But we're talking ooh, actually Pacific Rim's great, but the James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I'll never
Oh
forget
yeah,
the
he does play Bloodsport.
I'll never forget the scene where it's like they killed Milton. And he's like, Milton was still with us. That part killed me. But yeah, no. When it comes to him voicing a character, like you could say he voiced Shere Khan from Jungle Book like really well. Which, he did, but at the same time, it's like, but Knuckles is just better though, bro.
They nailed the feeling of like
Warrior.
Knuckles. Yeah, being that like not naive, well, kind of naive regarding Robotnik, but
Mm-hmm.
like they nailed the feeling that he's like a fish out of water on Earth, and
I feel like they
he
kind of
doesn't
needed.
fully understand what he's got himself into.
I feel like they kind of needed to explore that in the show though, because you can say, okay, Sonic's already been here, so he doesn't need adjusting. Okay, Tails is Tails, like he doesn't need really much adjusting either, because he's pretty normal. Knuckles really isn't. But I will say he does have one of the coolest chairs ever, and that's when he had the freaking family champion like throne he made. I'm like, oh my god, dude, this guy.
He literally made his own Iron Throne. He said, "Oi, Game of Thrones, check this shit out. I'm better than you."
He also reveals one of his. Like, I will also say this: if you told me this would have been, they would have brought this in the live action, I would have also laughed in your face and called you a liar. Knuckles gliding.
No, when I saw him jump out, I was like, "No fucking shot, they're doing it. No fucking shot, they're doing it." He starts doing it, and it's like, "Knuckles, you can fly." I'm like, "Okay, they're just doing the flying thing. I cannot fly. I can only glide." I'm like, "Oh, they actually are doing it for very short distances," and then just the collapse. I just started laughing.
Also, the flaming fists are like so cool.
Oh, they're amazing.
I was so happy to see the flaming fist. I was like, yes. Overall,
It
though,
was just so peak to
I
see that.
I do love though when Sonic starts like snapping and how he like wants the emerald and he's like threatening to like fight Knuckles and Tails and everyone to like find it. I do love how that shot shows Knuckles' red energy reflecting on Sonic to show that he's consumed with anger, and Sonic's blue reflecting on Knuckles to show that he's speaking of reason. But I will say though, one of my
See,
favorite parts
I
is
didn't think of that.
yeah. Now, one of my favorite parts actually from that is the fact that Knuckles actually calms down. He's like, "Alright, bro, do it. I ain't fighting you."
Honestly, I like the fact that it was Knuckles who calmed down because
Exactly.
you'd expect Knuckles to be the one
He
to
would have
like
been the one to
throw
throw the
hands, and
punch.
then
You expect like Tails to be the one to
yeah,
separate it.
but then instead you have uh You have Knuckles like actually standing down and going like, "Okay, listen, you're going to regret this. You are about to fuck around and find out. I know you will not listen to me. That's why I'm just going to let this happen to you, so you can actually understand that this is on you."
Team Knuckles.
No, he was right to
No,
be
no,
annoyed
no,
with it.
no. I was making, no, I was making, no, I was making. Oh, wait, no, you're talking about my thing. Never mind.
He was right to be upset about not being called Team Knuckles. He's the only one in the series with over 100 minutes of screen time.
Yes, he
He
is.
beats Sonic by 3 minutes. How is he not going to
No, no,
have?
he beats him by
How's
6.
he going to just be? Oh yeah, it was 6.
Because no, because Sonic has 100. Yeah, he has 97. Fun fact,
I don't know why
Shadow.
I thought he had like 94. Like,
No, you're fine. Fun fact, Shadow only has 17, but he feels like
well,
which
it was his
for
first movie.
well, no, I'm saying no. Considering he's quote unquote a villain, that's a lot of screen time. Because usually, I don't know if you ever noticed, but villains usually only have like at most 10 minutes of screen time. Like if
That's
you,
actually dumb.
it's really because they want to keep
Like,
the
why
villain.
would you
They
do
want to
that?
keep the villain a miss. It's because a lot of like media. It's due to a number of factors. A being the first one obviously being oh we gotta focus on the hero. We gotta focus on this. And it's like the villain can be just generic, but
Like, but it's what's it called?
But when you make a sympathetic villain, you also do usually give them more screen time. Even still, you don't have to give them a lot of screen time. Like Tai Lung is a great example. Tai Lung does not have a lot of screen time, but you see where he's coming from. But you also can have a
Yeah,
thing where you want a non-sympathetic villain. And the best example I can give is The Dark Knight with Joker. Joker has nearly an hour of screen time, dude. That's a lot.
I did not even.
Like the
It does not feel like an hour. Well, it's probably because it's been like a few years since I've seen Dark Knight.
yeah, because it's probably only like 4 or 5 scenes you really remember with Joker.
I remember hospitalist nurse opening. Come on, hit me. Jail and pencil trick. That's it.
Yeah, there's already like 3 scenes that you are forgetting. Uh, it's when
It's
he burnt.
been so long since I've seen that movie.
No, it's fine. I mean, we can do another series, basically like nostalgia revisiting, where we just like rewatch stuff and like give our updated thoughts on how it is. But before we do
Well, I've
that,
been for that.
we gotta talk about another character, Shadow.
Aura! Aura!
The
This dude rivals Piccolo.
one thing I want to say real quick about Shadow, and well, not even Shadow, but Sonic 3, is that this is one of the things where they know what we want. We want to see Shadow and Sonic fight. Okay, when do we get that? We get that less than 10 minutes in the freaking movie. We get them fighting. Like I actually when it came out digitally, I actually had to like pause it and see what part like they actually start fighting. I'm like, bro, it's not even 10 minutes and they're already throwing hands. So good.
Yeah, like
Then Shadow wins, of course, because it's Shadow, and usually the villain usually wins the first round. Not to mention Shadow has the power of teleportation, which
also the Akira bike slide.
I also want to say this real quick because a
Like,
lot of people don't really acknowledge this or like don't realize it. You know, Shadow's original aura colors are right.
I think you said it was like it was
Yellow.
red.
It's yellow.
All right, it was yellow.
But they didn't choose that because they had tails. But the thing is, they didn't go at reds because it's Knuckles. So what they did was they chose orange because that's a perfect blend between, Shadow's like rage, but also, an homage to his original colors. But also, it's unique. In Fist's
It was
version,
also funny too.
yeah.
Color theory, the direct opposite of blue, like the inverse of blue, is orange. Like, I don't know if that was intended or not, but on the color theory wheel, like it's dark blue and light orange are the exact opposites of each other.
Interesting.
It was how like I think you heard me mention this back when I still played Destiny that like everyone was talking about like oh the third
Yeah,
Doctor
you did.
subclass is
You
going to be
did.
red
You did
because
mention
all the
this.
color
You did mention this.
because Solar's bright orange was then contrasted by Stasis's dark blue,
Yeah.
Void's dark purple was contrasted by Strand's bright green, and Arc's light blue came out as like a deep sickly red
Hmm.
on the color spectrum. So they don't do that shit.
Kind of weird.
One time we're actually predicting shit, and they're like, nope, lol, no third Doctor subclass for you. I digress.
Yeah. So one thing we should mention real quick is no, go say your thing.
Like, I have to keep glazing Shadow. Like, that scene where he starts taking them out one by one at the abandoned base. Like, did this man fucking grow up watching the Halloween movies? Did he, like,
Yeah, I sent you
start to
the
binge all of Predator?
yeah. No, one thing I want to say because you skipped something really good there, bro, and something really great that I'm surprised you skipped. I will
Wait,
always
what?
stand by. I will always stand by this. The fact that they actually got the motorcycle along with the gun is actually insane that they did that.
Oh, yeah, no, the fact that they actually found a way to give him the gun, that is perfect.
Best part, they obviously didn't give him a real gun because kids movie. But the fact that he
But
has a
it still
gun
looks
anyway.
real enough.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. The fact they give him a gun at all is hilarious to me.
Also, Keanu
Oh,
Shadow
dude. Oh, bro.
so
It's
well. Look, I'm not a
insane.
fan of fan casting because sometimes fan casting can be like
Yeah, they could be.
not that
They
good.
can't. They
Let's
they
be
can't.
honest.
They can be quote unquote good, but I mean at the same time they also can be really bad.
But this was the greatest fan cast ever done. Like it's just too perfect.
Yeah, no, dude. It was. Bro, it's the fact that he perfectly. The thing is too is, and I think this is the one of the reasons when Keanu Reeves. So Shadow, obviously, when they're going with Shadow, they're choosing his main origin, obviously, but they're also choosing the the stuff that made him like really I think it's because they have Keanu Reeves actually that they were actually able to do the edgy stuff he did in his game without making it feel really like stupid because his voice like matches
Because
the entire aesthetic so well.
and because what would be like, oh, it's so edgy in the past, it's now like, oh, this is just John Wick as Shadow.
Yeah, literally,
So it's because
it's
it's
like
so tied to it that's like you can't look at it and be like, oh, it's cringe. You look at it, you're like, yeah, no, that's just Keanu.
that literally is. It's like yeah, the guy who voiced John. It's like what you're going to complain the guy who voiced John Wick plays the character with a gun.
You can tell at times it felt like he was channeling John Wick
Oh, absolutely.
for Shadow.
Like I love one of my
Like
favorite lines. One of my
again, the like. Oh, go ahead.
One of my favorite lines with Shadow. I mean, obviously, it's been said a lot, but I'll say my other ones later. But when he says, "When the classic, the more you talk, the harder I want to hit you," I was like, "Yo, this is like." I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like this is a Spider-Man villain will say.
The way he delivers it too,
It's like so
like
good.
normally it's like the more you talk, the more I want to hit you. Like it would come off as like unnecessarily edgy and like
Yeah,
grim and so. But the way he's doing it, the tone he uses is just like, dude, shut the fuck up! I get out and I have to deal with you already. Just stop, leave me alone. Like it gives a sense of already Shadow is just done with Sonic shit. He's not trying to be edgy. He's basically just like, leave me the fuck alone. Go away. You're annoying.
I will say.
Which encapsulates the relationship perfectly.
I will say this too. One thing that I was actually really happy they did. I mean, because I didn't expect them to be able to really do this, but the fact that they didn't, they obviously gave us, Shadow's backstory, but the fact that they gave it to sections instead of, just one long flashback is actually really good.
And what's more is you see him like you see in the beginning like, oh, something happened, and you know something bad happened. So then when they start showing his backstory with Maria, you already feel sad because you know how it's going to end.
It's not even that. It's the
And you
fact
see
that
how okay.
it's not even that. It's the fact that we listen. If you know anything about Shadow, you know Maria dies. I mean, that's literally like the. It's like me
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, Batman's parents are dead." It's like, bro, everyone knows that. If you know anything about Shadow,
Dude, spoilers! Just kidding.
oh no. But yeah, if you know anything about Shadow, you know Maria dies all the time. But the thing is, though, is how are they gonna have her? How is it gonna make you feel sad that she's dead? That's what I'm trying to say. Because in
And then
Sonic
they
X,
like
because in Sonic X,
child relationship.
listen real quick. I want to tell you this because in Sonic X, when she like gets shot, it's like I gotta remember that, but I'm pretty sure in Sonic X she gets shot while Shadow's in the tube, and she's literally laying there saying her last words to Shadow before she dies, which is so messed up. It's like yeah, she's just laying there, slowly dying as she's telling Shadow, her goodbyes and everything. I was like, bruh. But no, the way they did this, I like it. Not to mention the quotes, bro.
Yeah.
The quote in this movie is so good.
Even when a star goes out, its light still shines. That fucking hit.
It is so good. And
Like
I didn't expect us to
it
get a
just
quote that
like
good. No, say
I
your thing.
swear. But like when they start showing like Shadow's backstory, you see that Maria was to him like the way she was like treating him and such, he would have turned out like Sonic. Like he was starting to be a bit happier. He was starting to be friendly. He was starting to laugh and smile. And
Yep.
yeah, he felt subconscious about the fact that he's an alien, that people would be afraid of him. But like you see this happy life he could have had, and then you see it ripped away from him. Then you realize the sad thing, he's blaming Commander Walters, right? And Walters tried to stop it. Walters tried to stop the soldiers from shooting. So he blames the wrong dude because all he sees is Walters leading the guys and like Maria getting killed.
Could also be that Walter's like
It's
probably one of
such
the
a
only few
tragic
dudes.
tale.
It also could be that Also, Walter did was the guy who ordered him to go into stasis. But also, it could be that Walter's one of the few people who are actually still alive that was there.
But like it's oh, they made Shadow's backstory so painful.
It was so painful,
Like
but it
even
was so
more
good.
painful than the games. Yeah, because they actually expand more on like showing how he and Maria were close.
They actually gave him death, which is really good.
Also, but the final fight with him and Sonic,
Oh,
like
dude, if you told me we got Super Sonic and Super Shadow, I would have laughed at your face as well and called you a liar.
not just that, the fact that Shadow punched the super out of Sonic and then stole the superpower for himself when Sonic tried to go back into it.
No, dude, I love when he got punched so hard he got sent flying to the moon. By the way, most accurate, the closest thing we're gonna get to a good live action Dragon Ball.
I will say though, regarding the live action Dragon Ball, did you know that the dude that played Piccolo actually came back and voiced Goku Black? So he redeemed himself at least.
Yeah,
And if they do Granola arc, hopefully the dude that played Goku can come back to voice Granola, so he can also redeem himself.
yeah.
But
We gotta talk about like obviously the thing I love the most about it is Shadow realizes like I've known this pain for so long, it's all I know. Then he and Sonic has that heart to heart. Great shot by the way of them just sitting on the moon. Amazing
yes,
shot. And
The
then
fact that as soon as Sonic realized what he's doing, like, and he stands down, Shadow also stands down. You see that Shadow really doesn't want to hurt Sonic. He's just lost and angry, and he
being
doesn't
used.
understand why Sonic is not. Yeah, he doesn't understand why Sonic is not wanting to finish him.
Another
Like, it's
thing,
such a great heart to heart they have.
yeah, no, it's freaking amazing. One thing I will say though is, listen, we gotta talk about the greatest dad, the most goated dab of all time. I'm in,
Yes.
because I was in. Listen,
Oh,
guys, I was in a theater. He wasn't in a theater. We're over here. Everyone's like hearing this slight thing, and you're just hearing people going, oh, oh, and then you see them dab each other up, bro, and you see them going super. Then you hear, gotta go fast. Don't tell me you got a catchphrase. That's right, new hedgehog, and everyone loves it. And you just hear live and learn, bro. My whole theater was screaming. I was screaming. I was like, yeah.
pretty sure, like, I woke my neighborhood up with how I screamed when I saw that. Just, oh, the fucking shot of the dab, the crystals surrounding them going into super mode.
Them fighting a bunch of robots and them doing the pose. It,
Oh, so good. And then the cutaway to the fucking Robotniks fighting was hilarious.
oh yeah, no, that's the one thing I want to
It's
say real
like,
quick. That's what I want to say real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
When it comes
I know what you're
to
gonna say.
movies like this where it cuts away from the main event, usually you're always annoyed. Let's be honest, we're usually always annoyed because it's like, okay, we cut away from the cool stuff to this B-list crap we don't care about. No, this is probably the only movie where you actually get away with it because it's literally Jim Carrey fighting Jim Carrey. And they're going all, and Jim Carrey's going all out with, like, just being silly and stupid in these scenes. I'll never forget when, like, I love the scene where he goes, build auto defense. Then it's like a freaking, like, fence just pulls up and he's like, damn you, autocorrect. I know he said set up the fence, and it just, like, was like, set up a fence. Autocorrect, all our most hated enemy. Definitely yours.
Oh my god, I hate autocorrect. Every time I try to type lit, it's like, do you mean lot? I'm like, no, I mean lit. Oh, do you mean lot? No, I mean lit. 3-minute fight ensues with my phone.
I know, it's amazing. Cause you always send me something. I was like, quickly pop my phone. If I'm like just right there, I'll like look at it. I'll see the edit scene. I'll be like,
You didn't see shit. Never saw shit.
I will say this though, I do love. I won't deny it. I mean, to be fair, everyone in my theater knew Shadow wasn't gonna die. I knew Shadow wasn't gonna die because that'll be a bit of a middle finger to all of us. It's like, yeah,
He
Shadow's in
was
this
always been
movie.
Keanu Reeves. Of course they're bringing him back.
Exactly. But I won't deny. I mean, I definitely expected it to happen. But I won't deny. I do love when he takes off his freaking restraining like bracelets. I'm like, yo.
But he's just like, fuck it, full power. Let's go.
Now here's a question. Do you know why he has those?
If I recall, it's because the chaos energy in him is like too much to contain.
Yeah, he can't control it. Basically, it's just too much energy. He can't actually contain all of it. It's not that he's going to explode. It's more like he can't actually use it properly, which obviously you see how chaos energy is in the movie. It can be a danger to other people, which is why he has those on. Because if he doesn't, I mean, yeah, he could beat the crap out of anyone, but at the same time, it's like, but that means there's no ally. That means there shouldn't be anyone around him for that to happen either. I like to compare it. Actually, I won't be surprised if this actually is supposed to be the thing. I like to compare it to how Dragon Ball has like the waiting gear.
Oh yeah,
I won't be surprised if they
there's a
actually.
scene from Naruto that is perfect to describe that.
Yeah.
But like you haven't seen Naruto, so you don't. I think I've described to you before, like Rock Lee taking off his weights, but you don't know the like impact that had in that moment.
Hmm.
But it's kind of the same way of like just the impact of Shadow taking off those bracelets of like I Now we're fighting for real. Now I'm actually giving it my all.
But yeah, if you ask me, honestly, what I rate Sonic 3, the thing is soon, this is one thing I want to say. These movies just get better and better. Like, the more they keep coming out. And obviously, we got to talk about, quickly talk about Metal Sonic and Amy showing up for the credit scenes. Really good.
Dude, Metal Sonic translated so well to live action. Holy shit! I did not think it would look that
Translate it didn't
good.
change a single thing.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's literally a one-for-one copy. It's so damn good. If you look at the design, you wouldn't think it would look good in live action. You would think it would be like some sort of like fucking Bayverse style design, like what they did with the original Decepticons. No, they just said we're doing it the way it's supposed to be, and it looks phenomenal.
I've seen people actually say, I've seen people actually, like some people are fan casting Metal Sonic, but a good majority is that people are saying Metal Sonic should not even have a voice because he doesn't in the original, and I'm totally fine with that.
On the one hand, yeah, I can agree with that, but on the other hand, I want it to be James Spader. If I know I just said fan castings are shit, here I am fan casting. I am a hypocrite, yes, but hear me out on why James Spader. He's the dude that voiced Ultron in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, no, that's the only like voice I would actually accept. But again, the only reason I would say I will be fine with him not talking is because it'll be kind of this. It'll be kind of, now if they did something like interesting. I mean, to be fair, these movies are absolutely destroying it when it comes, their, scripts and ideas and everything. I will say, I think one thing that'll be really dope for Metal Sonic is if he doesn't talk, simply put, just don't make him talk. Make him like, basically, here's the thing: don't let Sonic talk, if that makes sense. So basically, Sonic's a chatterbox. Metal Sonic doesn't talk, so he has no reason to respond or do anything to anything. Meaning, you have the complete opposite of Sonic. And the thing is, too, is even though Sonic might be quote unquote fast or even quote unquote faster, Metal Sonic is not letting Sonic even like think, catch his breath. It's a hyper realistic fight where you don't even have the time to like process anything. And when you bring that and when you think of that, that is really good if he's not going to talk. But I will say this though.
Yeah,
I have
I can
seen a
see
lot of
that. Yeah.
people. I have seen a lot of people say this though about Amy. It's not fan casting related, but the thing I want to say, and I actually will not be against, is so we all know how Amy usually has a massive crush on Sonic. She's always, head over heels for him in like almost every incarnation she's in. Reverse that. Make Sonic a simp for Amy. And Amy's just like, I'm just here, bro. Chill. And I have seen people saying, imagine if Amy actually like developed a crush on Shadow, and then eventually she got her with Rouge being introduced, she like just cuts her losses and like settles with Sonic. That would be amazing.
That would be hilarious.
I've seen some people saying that they might do that, but instead of Shadow, it'll be Knuckles. Because Knuckles doesn't need a fucking hammer. He got these hands.
Speaking of Knuckles, his show went way fucking harder than you'd think it would.
Oh, absolutely. I will always stand by this. Like, say whatever you want about this. And the thing that makes that show really stand out to me is that, listen, when it comes to a lot of things, when it's like a live action show compared to, an actual, like, Hollywood movie or whatever, usually they always feel a bit out of touch. They feel obviously a bit cheaper, or they're usually about stuff that you don't care about. No, Knuckles fits
Yeah.
right in. Like, okay, listen, a great example is Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Now, I love Godzilla. I love the MonsterVerse. I obviously they have a lot of budget to have the monsters show up and everything like that. What I don't care about is a stupid family drama and this person liking this person, and I'm just like, no one cares.
Just insert Eggman, no one cares, gif.
Literally.
We're there for the monsters. We're not there for this family drama.
My point exactly. It's like, oh, my family. This like, I don't care about your family. You're a person. In most movies, the human usually dies anyway.
Meanwhile, the Sonic franchise, the humans are so damn good. Tom and Maddie, keep them in, please. I know there's rumors that they might not have as big a role in the fourth movie. Please, no. They're awesome. Keep them in.
I can understand.
Wade. Wade needs to be there. At
I
least for a cameo.
my favorite scene, and actually one of my favorite scenes in Sonic 3 is literally like, so man, we need your help on Super Secret Top Secret mission, and they look and they're like, thank God. It's like, listen, whatever you're planning, we're in. Doesn't matter how dangerous, doesn't matter how daily, we're in. I'm just like, bro, they're that bored.
We're bored as shit. Let us in, damn it.
I'm dying from boredom. Please, if there's a world life threatening event happening, please invite me. But yeah, no. So we have
No,
that. The Knuckles series is surprisingly good. It actually, not even gonna lie to you, it actually surprisingly has a relatively big budget too. Because I don't know if you realize that, but Knuckles is in pretty much every episode. He is obviously on screen. He's not like just in the background or something. He's there. And his voice actor. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how much he costs, but he's not cheap either. Not to mention
let
they
me
have
actually
to.
check.
They actually have to spend a lot of money on like effects and everything like that.
How much does it?
So I do appreciate that show didn't hold back at all.
The estimated speaking fee. Okay, this is for hiring him for an event. But for an event, it is at least around 200 to 300K. That's just for speaking at an event.
Dang. Yeah,
So,
no,
like,
that they did not hold back with that show. Then
yeah, like, holy shit.
I'm fine with that.
No, he's amazing. I love how they dodge so many cliches in the show.
Hmm.
Like,
Like when you had the ear pod in, so
the,
you like listening.
yes, that's the biggest one. It's like, I'm seeing this, I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. Knuckles is going to feel like he got betrayed by Wade. They're going to have a bit of a falling out. They're going to resolve it. And no, Knuckles was prepared for it. And I thought it was just that, like, he could tell something was up with Wade. And in a way, it's like, oh, oops, I forgot to tell you. Knuckles just dips his head and, like, the earbud falls out. He's like, oh, Knuckles was listening in the whole time. I'm like, yo, they
Fun fact.
subverted it. Thank God.
Fun fact. I actually had to Google that to see if you can actually do that. Turns out you can. It's because obviously I never had
Also,
that.
I'm pretty sure.
It's because I never had that situation where like that's ever happened. So I actually had to look up. Can you actually listen to a conversation with an earbud on while speaking on the phone? Turns out you can. So yeah.
But, like, the fact that Knuckles just straight up did not have to deal with that bullshit was such a breath of fresh air.
Another thing I want to say that makes that show so good to me as well is when you think about it, it actually is the comedy is really really good as well. Like you have Wade fighting the one dude and his phone goes off and it's his mom. You have this scene where it's like, "Now tell us where he is, Wade, or I will kill your sister." I'm okay with that. Do what you gotta do.
That is you with me.
Yep. It's like, "I'll
That
kill
is
your
like
mother."
you
No,
with
no,
me
no,
versus
no,
you
don't
with
kill my
Snake.
mom.
But
The freaking
also,
the
you want to
freaking
talk
joust.
comedy? Yes, the joust, but specifically the him getting his training arc in the dream. That like halfway through the like song that they're doing to get him to realize how Knuckles actually became so powerful, he's like, "It's my fist," and then just everything stops. The lights come on. You see like the dudes that were moving the giant demon thing, and everyone's like, "What? No! What the hell are you talking about?" I was like, I got it." My wakes up, punches the thing, gets electrocuted, goes back to the dream, and dude's still standing. Like, you gonna let us finish now?
Yeah.
Like that. That was funny as shit. It was so well done.
All right. So how would you rate all the movies in the show?
Okay,
First
the
movie, I'll
first
give it.
one,
First movie, I'll be honest with you. I'll give it a solid 7.
I'll give it like a 7.58 out of 10. Like they played it safe, which I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But I only rate it so low because they started embracing more of the silliness later on, and the
That's what I was
more
gonna say.
silly it got, the better it got.
Yeah, no, that's why. That's solely why I was giving it a 7. It's not that because when you go from the third movie back into the first one, it feels like a totally different movie. To be honest with you, like the second movie,
And
the
then
third movie's transition, it feels natural and everything. But when you go from third to the first, it feels like a totally different movie entirely. But second movie, I give probably a 9. I'll give it a solid 9 just because of the jump it did from like grounded, serious, like ish, realistic tone to nah, this is the game. Nah, this is a live action video game movie.
the second one, I'm giving a 9.5 out of 10. Like, it's so good.
No, it is.
I do love how they dodged the cliche of, like, well, not but the exposition with the Master Emerald in the beginning of having instead of having Sonic be like, the Master Emerald, what's that? Just have it be like, wait, no, that's a bedtime story. And then have it be like an exposition for Wade almost of what's going on.
Yeah.
Because like Sonic and Tails know who it is. Longclaw does give the full like backstory on what happened with it. She gives like a brief description of the Master Emerald, but is more on like, hey, here's why I got jumped that day. It's because my people took the emerald. And we hid it here on Earth.
Hmm.
And Idris Elba as Knuckles killed it that movie.
And no, he absolutely did.
Everyone killed it. Jim Carrey killed it. Nick's voice actor killed it. Everyone did great. The only reason I don't give it like a full thing is because, like, I'm gonna be honest, I felt like the wedding scene
I was gonna
dragged
say
on
the
a
same thing.
little bit too long.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason I'm giving that. It's not even the wedding scene. It's literally like the fact when they have to save Tails and save Sonic and Tails. That's when they have to rescue them. That's when I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, I'm not
The
gonna
only
lie, I kind of fast forwarded a bit on my
the,
rewatch.
the only thing I'm gonna say though that I did like when it came to the second movie regarding that wedding is literally when it's like we are gathered here today and you see the classic like Sonic like theme for his ringtone. I was like, oh my god. And then the horror deal of him getting the ring and like sending him through. That's the only scene in the wedding I actually
Yeah,
care about.
but
All
what
right,
you call it? Knuckles, 9 out of 10 for a low stakes thing. It was pretty damn good.
I give it a 9.5 just because it, unlike a lot of shows, actually feels like it's actually from the same universe where the big movies are coming from.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Not to mention, it has the funniest low budget episode I've ever seen in my entire life. It doesn't hide it either. That's the best part.
Yeah, the fight's like, tell you. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you. For a low budget musical.
Yeah. And Sonic 3, 10. Just a 10.
11 out of 10. Like, Shadow's aura
Million.
breaks the scale.
Shadow and Jim Carrey breaks the scale. That's what breaks the scale. You can't sleep on Jim Carrey
The
with two
fucking,
Robotniks.
oh no, they carry it up to like eye up, and then Shadow finishes it off.
Yeah.
That scene of the two of them dancing in the laser hall.
Oh, dude, that's one of the best scenes in the entire
That,
movie.
that lives rent free in my head.
Oh, dude, I
There
have so
what
many
meme
memes
you sent
downloaded
of
from
like
that.
the comparing like what's better, that or the opening of Deadpool and Wolverine?
I say that solely because now listen, the Deadpool and Wolverine opening credits is like very creative. Don't get me wrong, But you also have to remember that's a professional dancer in that costume. That's not actually Ryan Reynolds. Jim Carrey is actually doing that.
You know,
He's
that's actually fair.
he's doing that in that prosthetic. Well, not prosthetic. He's doing it in that you know. Actually, wait, is it called a prosthetic?
What, like the
The
extra,
fat.
like what did they put on? I think I'm not well versed in like
Basically,
prosthetic.
basically he has to do it with that, but he also has to do it again with even more of that, along with all the makeup to make himself look old. He also has to do it
And it came
in
out
synchronization with him.
perfect.
He also has to do it in synchronization with the time he does it the first time.
I want to know how many times they had to redo, like how many takes they had to did
I want
because
to.
it's
I want
perfect
to see a read. I want to see a freaking just a behind the
behind the
scenes on how
scenes.
and how on how they did all that. Like not even just that, but just the two
Actually,
Robotniks on scene. Like I know there's movie
does
trickery
that
of
exist?
like I know there's movie trickery of like just to record the same scene and he shows up in no scene, then just shows up in a different one. You know how like they usually get those. It's like he shows up in one scene, but then he shows up in another scene, but it's the same scene, it's just a different time when he shows up on stage or whatever. But yeah, so what do you think? That good?
Like
Did everything?
I have to keep gushing about Shadow. Oh, I'm sorry. The fact that it's Keanu Reeves. Oh, he's just so perfect as the role. I'm so excited for future movies because,
Oh,
like,
dude, trust me, I am
I
too.
don't know if he'll show up in Sonic 4. I hope
I
he
will say,
does.
listen, this one I've seen this theory actually. So you know how Shadow usually has his own squad, with Rouge and
Oh yeah,
the.
Rouge and Omega.
So because of the fact that Shadow's from space, and the fact that he also feels like I mean, to be fair, he thinks he killed Tom. There's no denying that. So the theory
Yeah.
that some people are having that Shadow is actually going to be doing his own thing, possibly in his own spin-off movie, and he's going to find Rouge, and he's going to find basically he's going to get his own squad together. So when you have them meet up with Team Sonic and everything, it's like kind of like an Avengers moment where like you have the squad showing up.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know what? With the success of Knuckles, I think they would absolutely go for a Team Dark spinoff.
I do want to say I do want them to make it a movie though instead of a TV show.
Honestly, yeah, I could see that.
The only reason I don't want it to be a TV show is because it doesn't. The stakes have to be low because they have to keep the budget at a certain rate. Because yeah, Idris Elba, he's pretty expensive, but imagine Keanu Reeves for the main character. You see my point now?
Yeah. Okay, so from what I can tell, it looks like they had a stunt double to do Gerald at times,
Yeah, that makes sense.
like for some of the first, like some of the scenes.
They kind of had to though, because again, there's some parts where he literally is interacting with where they're literally interacting with each other.
Yeah,
But yeah.
but it makes sense to do that.
Yeah, but like I said though, for the most part, it's literally Jim Carrey like doing most of the entire scene. All right.
And he does it so well.
Oh, dude, trust me, he's god tier. Like, this is probably. I'll be real. I've seen Jim Carrey in like other stuff, but this is easily my favorite role he's ever been in. And ironically enough, it's his most favorite role it's ever been in. It's like, because I think the only movie franchise he's ever said he would probably come back to is if they were to do the Grinch again.
I'll see. I can definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep in mind that's only the Grinch. So like every other scene of every other movie, not scene, every other character he's played in a different movie, they want to do a sequel. He's gonna be like, probably not.
But then, like with Eggman, it's like you can tell he
He
genuinely
loves it.
enjoys the
He
role
absolutely loves it.
because, like, as we point out he literally was going to like retire, and then he chose not to specifically because of
He came
what's it
back
called?
twice. Remember he was actually originally not going to show up in the second movie, but then he's like, "Yo, hold up, I
Yeah,
can actually this," and he comes back for the third movie, and he's openly said it's like, "Yeah, if they give me a good script, I would love to show up again."
you know what I actually want to see. I just want to see now in the fourth movie, like the main Metal Sonic fighting Shadow, and Shadow is the one that takes down Metal Sonic solely
Imagine
then
Metal
so he can
Shadow.
say like just so he can then be like, huh, and yet somehow you were tougher than the actual one. Just to keep the trend going of Sonic's previous movie antagonist talking shit about him to the newest movie antagonist.
I would
We
love to
already
see.
have it with Knuckles being like, he is more impressive than the Hedgehog I fought previously.
I would love.
Literally to Sonic's face.
Listen, so I don't know if you saw again. We might see another dimensional like Eggman or something like that. But what I will say is, I would love to see. No, there's a meme from from Venom: The Last Dance where the symbiote says the black one, obviously referring to Venom. And I would love to see Jim Carrey, you know, as Eggman, like let's say an interdimensional Eggman, see Shadow show up, and he says, "Ugh, a black one." That would be amazing. That would be
Then we
absolute
like
god
just
tier.
like Shadow's the only like hedgehog with that fur color across every single dimension, or like every time there's someone with a fur color like Shadows, they're just damn near impossible for a Robotnik to kill.
Yeah.
That would actually be funny, yeah.
All right. Seeing we got everything we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Unless we want to keep Glazing Shadow, but we'll be here all night if we just keep Glazing Shadow.
Yeah. So look, hope you guys really enjoyed listening in to this. Um, we plan on doing a lot more of these, so keep in mind. We always try to keep. I will say this real quick. We always try to keep the times a little bit down because we've been talking for like almost an hour and a half, and I know like for some people that's a
No
lot to listen
promises,
to.
though.
We say?
No promises, though. There are going to be
Oh
ones
yeah,
that we're
no
going
promises.
to
No, there will
unintentionally
be some. There
go.
will be some we obviously will do. We'll probably give you like guys like a warning or something like that. But again, hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, do all that YouTube stuff and following stuff that every other content creator
Like,
ever
comment,
tells you.
subscribe, demand everyone else watch it. Not really, but please.
Follow on Spotify or something like that if we upload it on that.
You have a Spotify?
We might. I might make one. But yeah, later.